How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be going over my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 321 Aspinall vs. Gane on October 25th, 2025. Timestamps in the comments below. Let's get right into it with the first fight of 14. We start with Jaqueline Amorim versus Mizuki Inoue. I'm going to pick Jaqueline Amorim more than likely by submission. I just think Jaqueline Amorim is a way better prospect in terms of strawweight than Mizuki Inoue. I've seen way more skills from Jaqueline Amorim than Mizuki Inoue. She hasn't taken a 2-year hiatus. That's another positive when it comes to Jaqueline Amorim over Mizuki Inoue. Mizuki, if you don't know, got signed in 2019, and she's only had 3 fights since then. She took a 3-year layoff between her Lemos loss to her fight with Hannah Goldy, which was pretty close. I don't rate Hannah Goldy. I remember that fight very vividly because I picked Hannah Goldy to win. And, of course, you know, it is a little biased to me to say I thought Hannah Goldy actually had a decent chance of maybe getting a decision there. And Hannah Goldy is not good in any metric of the sport. She's, like, kind of, like, strong, and she can wrestle a little bit. But other than that, she's kind of mid as fuck. And Mizuki had a really competitive fight with her that I am not a huge fan of. Jaqueline Amorim, jiu-jitsu specialist, really good grappling. Lost her debut to Sam Hughes. Outside of that, has finished 4 fights in a row. Vanessa Demopoulos, Corey McKenna. She just beat Poliana Viana. I forget who the 4th one. I think it was Canelo Ruiz. She's like a really short Mexican lady who fights, I think, 2 weeks from now, or is it next week? I forget. Who gives a fuck? I think Jaqueline Amorim's a way better fighter than Mizuki Inoue at the end of the day. Mizuki, she can strike a little bit. I think her grappling is still very suspect at the end of the day. Like Hannah Goldy got a takedown on her. She shot 14 takedowns, again a lot, but she did have a lot of control time in that fight. And if Jaqueline Amorim is given the same positions, I think she finds a finish. So I'll go Jaqueline Amorim over Mizuki Inoue. Way more impressed with Amorim than Inoue. We move to Azat Maksum versus Mitch Raposo. Definitely going to go Azat Maksum in this fight over Mitch Raposo. I don't know why Mitch Raposo's still signed to the UFC. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He doesn't really do anything that great. He's 0-3 under the UFC banner. I know it's 0-2 in the UFC, but he lost on the Contender Series. And I don't think he had another fight there. Mitch Raposo is just like one of these shorter flyweights. He's not that short even. It's just like the competition he's facing in the UFC have been really big flyweights. Like Andre Lima, really big for the division. If you don't know Andre Lima, really good prospect, undefeated. He's the guy that got bit by Igor Severino. Big up Igor Severino. Should have fought last weekend, pissed at the fucking guy, missed weight. What a dickhead. Anyways. And then he just fought Suma Dwergi at 314, and he lost very convincingly. Mitch Raposo's whole game is big, powerful hooks and then wrestling. I don't know how well that's going to work against a guy like Azat Maksum, who's going to very competitive decisions with Charles Johnson and Tagir Rębecki. And he's making a close fight with Tagir Rębecki because he's stuffing all the takedown attempts. He's making Tagir really have to work for his takedown entries. Who do I think is a better grappler in Tagir and Mitch Raposo? Probably Tagir Rębecki. Listen, that's just an assumption. But I think Azat has just looked way better. I know, like, Azat, he's somewhat inactive. He took a while off between his Charles Johnson and Tagir fights. Who did he beat? Did he beat Zhalgas Zhumagulov? Is that his one win in the UFC? I have a feeling that's who it is. No, it was Tyson Nam. That's right, it was Tyson Nam. Very close fight, too, with Tyson Nam. Azat does keep it close, to be fair, and for some reason, Mitch Raposo keeps getting in split decisions. But I do believe that Azat Maksum is a way better fighter. I think he's got better striking on the feet. He's pretty sharp. He stands pretty tall. He's going to have a significant reach advantage in this one. And I think he'll be able to nullify the grappling of Mitch Raposo. Like, Azat Maksum, I think, can leg kick the shit out of Mitch Raposo. Because Mitch Raposo That was something Andre Lima did very well against Mitch Raposo, was just go to the legs. I know Azat Maksum maybe isn't the most prolific leg kicker, but if he sees tape and sees that, he can definitely capitalize on that. Mitch Raposo is very heavy on the lead leg. Take it out from him, nullify the grappling. Should be a pretty easy decision win for Azat Maksum. Mitch Raposo is not really that good. So, yeah, let's go Azat. We move to Hamdy Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. I have to pick Hamdy Abdelwahab. I don't really see a world where anyone can pick Chris Barnett in this fight. I'm going to be so honest with you. Chris Barnett is not only old, he is monstrously fat at 5'9". He's humongous. Look at this fucking guy. And here's the thing. I don't think Hamdy is 6'2". I don't know where that came. Maybe I always think of Hamdy Abdelwahab as this really short fucking Iran. Is he Egyptian? I think he's Egyptian, right? I fucking hope so. I hope he's Egyptian. Because I almost said Iraqi, and I don't think he's Iraqi. He is Egyptian, okay. Hamdy, I just think, is a better striker than Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett is so fat, and he's had so many injuries in his career. He has looked like utter garbage in his last 2 fights. And he's so inactive, too. Like, he tore his ACL or his Achilles or some shit against fucking Kennedy Nzechukwu. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing Kennedy absolutely beat him up. Kennedy's a really good heavyweight, unranked-wise at least. Hamdy is pretty mid, but he's pretty hard to finish, and I don't think Chris Barnett can win a decision against him. But Chris Barnett is going pretty decently far against, like, you know, Martin Buday and shit. Did he go to the 3rd round with Buday? But I forgot they cut Buday. That's actually criminal, you know. I feel like he went pretty far with Buday. He did. He went to a 3rd round with him. He finished Jake Hall. He's pretty tough, but I just think, like, at how old he is, and he's never been, like, that good anyways. He's so mid. People like Chris Barnett because he's kind of like, he's like a flashy kicker. He can throw wheel kicks. He can throw weird shit. Because it's weird because he's so fat that people are like, oh my god, how can a guy that fat throw that? Bars, by the way. Hamdy Abdelwahab's pretty mid, but he's pretty fundamentally okay. And he can wrestle. He can wrestle pretty alright. And Chris Barnett gasses out so fast. Hamdy Abdelwahab doesn't gas out that quick. He slows down, but he doesn't like look like he's dying in the fight. So I'll go Hamdy Abdelwahab by TKO, maybe round 2, round 3. I just think Chris Barnett's going to be huffing oxygen out there at one point. So I'll go Hamdy Abdelwahab. We move to Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Miguel Delgado. I'm going to pick Jose Miguel Delgado over Nathaniel Wood. I think it's a kind of a tricky one because my thing is, Nathaniel Wood is one of the more underrated guys in the UFC, like whole career-wise. You know, his losses that he's had in the UFC have been really, really razor-close decisions, most of them at least. Muhammad Naimov comes to mind. God, who else did he have a fucking insanely close fight with? It was Casey Kenny. I'm pretty sure Casey Kenny, that was an insanely close fight. He got finished by John Dodson, but other than that, you know, he's been pretty fucking good in the UFC. He's had close fights and wins, but, you know, that usually happens, you know what I mean? My big issue in Nathaniel Wood is, I'll bring this up with other fighters, it's the physicality difference between him and other fighters. Like, Jose Miguel Delgado, I don't think he's as technical or as fast as Nathaniel Wood. He is a way better finisher than Nathaniel Wood. And he has insane power, especially in things that I think will work well against Nathaniel Wood. A knee up the middle. Nathaniel Wood's got a high and tight guard. He's got one of those guards where, you know, if he ducks at a right moment, he'll get squirrely and he'll exchange, man. And Jose Miguel Delgado he's a fucking brawler, dude, and he hits insanely hard. His 3 fights under the UFC banner, his Contender Series performance, brutal flying knee knockout. Just fucking jump kneed against the fence, slumped him out cold. Connor Matheus absolutely obliterated him with a right hand over the top. Hyder Emil, he's knocking out Hyder Emil. I know I shit on Hyder Emil a lot. He's got a fucking chin on him, dude. To be fair, I said that Hyder Emil is one of those guys where he won't be as good when his chin's not. Jose Miguel Delgado cracked the fuck out of his chin. And Nathaniel Wood, I've seen him get knocked down too many times, in my opinion. I know Naimov and Philly, they have that kind of awkward power, especially like Naimov. Naimov hits really fucking hard. You see him knock out Jamie Malarkey up a weight class. I'm pretty sure that's him because I always get that him and Prado's performance mixed together against Malarkey. Malarkey beat Prado. Malarkey lost to Naimov, I'm pretty sure. Nathaniel Wood, he's getting dropped by Philly. I know Philly's like a really long, rangy guy. Lo and behold, Jose Miguel Delgado, really tall, 5'11", 73-inch reach. I think this is going to be a performance where it's like, man, Nathaniel Wood should really move back down. I know the weight cut's hard for him, but this is just one of those things where I feel like it's going to bite him in the ass eventually. It's just going to be, I think he's going to get chinned brutally in the first round. It's gonna be one of those things where he's doing well early, you know, kind of tapping at range, looking pretty good, and then boom, he's unconscious and he's getting hit with ground and pound, and the ref has to step in. I think it's gonna be a sad, sad loss for Nathaniel Wood. I'm picking Jose Miguel Delgado by knockout. We move to Valter Walker versus Louie Sutherland. First of all, knew they were gonna make this matchup. Go to my UFC 323 card builder. Literally said they do this. I'm picking Valter Walker by submission. Louie Sutherland's whole thing is like pressure striking into wrestling. That's like his whole thing. That's why he would have done well against like Justin Tafa. But now he's fighting Valter Walker. You know, like, Valter Walker's been looking pretty nasty, man. I mean, he beat Kennedy Nzechukwu, beat Junior Tafa, sub Dante O'May, all with heel hooks too, man. Like, there's a method to his madness. And he's huge for heavyweight, you know. 6'6". And he's just a fucking moron out there, you know. And Louie Sutherland, like, that, his whole thing is like being big and strong against people. His gas tank, I don't know how it's going to hold up. Even though we haven't seen Valter Walker go to a second round since the Dresky fight, and he did slow down pretty bad in that one. And him losing to Dresky is honestly fucking insane, looking at how good he's looked as of recent. It's just like, how does Louie Sutherland beat him? You know what I mean? I just don't really see it happening. I think Valter Walker, on the feet, it'll be Valter just sprinting at him, Louie kind of backing up, Valter just like, trying to gun for a takedown, get into a clinch, and then he'll maybe get a takedown, or he'll do what he did against Nzechukwu and just go for a heel hook. The one that he went for against Kennedy, it's one of those ones you can't even really fight back against. It's nuts. You can just get it. So I'll go Valter over Louie Sutherland. We move to Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady versus Matheus Camilo. I'm going with Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady. Huge fucking name, by the way. You know what? We need 2 hyphenated names, really. By the way, don't show Bryce Mitchell that nickname, but anyways. Abdul is like, he's pretty fucking good, you know. Even though he lost against Loic Radzhabov, which, yuck. Loic Radzhabov? Really? Loic is on steroids, to be fair. Look at the fucking traps on it. He looks like a fucking mule, honestly. Had a really good performance against George Hardwick on the Contender Series. And I know the Hardwick bros are kind of like, to UFC fans a little bit, they're like, they suck. They lose every single time they fight against crazy, like, you know, like somewhat UFC level comp. They're still pretty fucking good. All right. And Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady, 30-27, George Hardwick, and was on his way to beating Loic Radzhabov, was having a ton of momentum in that fight, dropped the first round in my opinion, won the second round very clearly. Matheus Camilo is in the UFC because he beat an unproven idiot of a fighter, The guy that went on the 308 press conference was like, then I'm undefeated, sign me, brother. And then he turned out to be dog shit. This is the guy that beat him. Matheus Camilo fought Gabe Green in May. He was looking okay. It looked at a point in the fight he just mentally gave up, you know. And I don't like that, especially against a guy like that fights the way Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady does. He's very frustrating to fight against. You see that on his opponent's face. He's a very back foot, backpedaling kind of striker. The way he strikes, he goes for a lot of low kicks. He goes for a lot of straight punches, a lot of jabs, kind of keep you on your toes. He can grapple a little bit. He's just like a really shitty version of like Volk in a way, I guess. Like the way that he fights, he's just like a worse version with a kind of suspect chin, and he hasn't fought in a while. Matheus Camilo, I don't like him losing to Gabe Green at all. I hate that look for him. Like the way it happened, it looked like he genuinely quit in the octagon. Not like Rene de Ridder quit where it's like, look at him lay on the ground. He genuinely, like, in a position, you can see him like, oh, well, this fight's over. Give up my neck, get me out of here, tap, tap, tap. And then Gabe Green gets his first win in the UFC in fucking 80 years or some shit. He's good. It's just, I feel like he's one of these young guys who, once something starts going against the way, like, when something starts going against the grain, he's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Lee Corso, fuck it. Throws the fucking helmet off, goes out, dude. I think Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady is pretty good. And Matheus Camilo, based on his last performance, I can't pick him. Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady, even though I don't like either of the guys that they lost to, I like Louie Garajabov a hell of a lot more than Gabe Green. So I'll go Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady, probably by decision. He doesn't really have a lot of punching power. He's pretty pebble punchy, but he's decent. He's pretty good. So I'll go Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady. We move to Ľudovít Klein versus Mateusz Rębecki. I'll pick Ľudovít over Mateusz Rębecki. It's a little weird, though. Like, if this fight happened before the Duncan fight, I would have probably picked Mateusz Rębecki. But I don't like how quickly Rębecki's getting back in there, you know. I don't like that at all. I think that's a terrible idea. His management team is fucking him over. He fought, if you guys don't remember, that was August 2nd when that fight happened, when his whole face blew up. I'm not talking about the Mukhtabek Orobai fight. I'm talking about the fight after that. And no, I'm not talking about when he fought Carlos Diego Ferreira. I'm talking about the fight, you know, after that. Mateusz shows damage so much on his fucking face. His eye blows up. His nose starts fucking like just fucking pouring blood. His mouth gets fucked up. He looks fucked up. He broke his arm against, I'm pretty sure he broke his arm against Carlos Diego Ferreira. He's getting finished by Diego Ferreira. Like, Rębecki is, like, not bad, you know. He's pretty good. It's just one, like, of course, edge it out against Mukhtabek Orobai. Insanely good win. Love that win for him. Chris Duncan is really good. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'm seeing Mukhtabek Orobai and Chris Duncan, guys who I believe are worse strikers than Ľudovít Klein. Maybe bit of a better grappling base on them, though. Definitely for Mukhtabek over Ľudovít Klein. Chris Duncan's just a really good submission threat. He's got decent offensive wrestling, but they're chewing Mateusz Rębecki up on the feet, man. And I know Ľudovít Klein just got shut out by Gamrot. It's fucking Gamrot, though, you know. It's Gamrot. Does Rębecki, does he scramble the way Gamrot does? No. He just doesn't. He doesn't even grapple that much anymore. He got fucked up by Carlos Diego Ferreira in May of 2024, came back a couple months later. He's been too active for the amount of damage he's been getting, you know. Like, the damage he took against, like, Mukhtabek, that's like a shit you take some, like a year off, honestly. The shit he took against Duncan in a loss, that's another fight where you take, like, 8 months off just to fucking, you know, like, get back in there. He's coming back after fucking, like, 3 months. After all that damage. I don't know, man. I don't think so. He's a very hittable guy. I know he hits hard, but Ľudovít's pretty good defensively, and he is one of these guys that knows how to win a decision. He does. He's pretty crafty. Even though he's young, Ľudovít at lightweight is pretty crafty in striking exchanges with people. He's pretty nice with it. So I'll go Klein over Rębecki. I think on the feet, Klein's going to be peppering him at range, like just sniping him. Rębecki's going to get desperate at times. Ľudovít's going to, if you get a guy that's stationary, and I know Rębecki isn't, he moves around decently well, but after a certain point, he just starts running at people. And against a guy like Klein, you see what he does against like Cunningham, where he's beating the shit. I know I'm not comparing Cunningham to Rębecki at any facet of the game at all. But like when a guy is there to be hit against Klein, he fucking hits them. Rębecki doesn't really possess those problems that like other people do, like Bahamondes or Roosevelt Roberts. I know he beat Roosevelt Roberts, and I'm pretty sure he beat Ignacio Bahamondes too. Or was that the draw? I think the draw was with Bahamondes. But no, it was Jai Herbert. He did beat Ignacio. They're just really tall guys. You get a short guy against Rębecki, I know they're the same height. I think Ľudovít Klein chews this level of competition up pretty bad when they're not as good at grappling as a Gamrot. You know what I mean? He hits pretty hard. Rębecki is there to get hit. He shows damage very easily. I just can't really see a world where the judges see this and are like, yeah, that's a Rębecki round. You know what I mean? He'd have to like basically TKO Klein every round for that to happen. I think Klein finishes Rębecki in the third round. I think Rębecki's going to take a lot of damage in this fight, show it, and then get finished in the third round. Just kind of get chewed up. So I'll go Klein by third round TKO. We move to Ikram Aliskerov versus JunYong Park. I'm picking Ikram over the Iron Turtle. I see, like, what's his name on MMA Twitter? It's he's like ginger and he goes to like the Apex events. He's like, dude, Ikram's trash. Is he though? Like, I know people are trying and be like, dude, the Iron Turtle, he's 9-3 in the UFC, a lot of, experience. I don't think that matters against Ikram Aliskerov. JunYong Park's whole game is to get people tired, pressure them on the feet, and grapple with them and out-grapple them. Ikram was defending every takedown off of Khamzat Chimaev. I know he got knocked out by Robert Whittaker. I know Robert doesn't hit all that hard. I know JunYong Park doesn't hit all that hard, and you can kind of make the connections there. Ikram has been dominating competition outside of that fight. I know the Phil Hawes fight was kind of weird. It looked like, Bedtime famously called him Doodle Bob. Warlley Alves, he just torched him. He's coming off the Andre Muniz performance. And Muniz and JunYong Park are like basically the same level, in my opinion. It's just Andre Muniz is maybe a bit craftier in the grappling exchanges. Andre Muniz was so scared of the takedown, like the grappling of Ikram Aliskerov, that he just didn't. Like, people are like, oh, but Ikram won't shoot. He doesn't need to shoot on JunYong Park. He can outstrike him. Ismail Nardiev, for what happened in that fight, the knee to the ground of an opponent happened, he beat him in the first round. He won the first round over JunYong Park very easily, in my opinion, and was winning the second until the point got deducted. I think it was it 2 points or whatever? He might have won that round if he didn't do that dumb shit. Ismail Nardiev is not on the same level as Ikram Aliskerov. Not even close, especially in the grappling. Ikram's big, strong, powerful, has very good defensive wrestling. I know we haven't seen him in round 2 yet in the UFC, so maybe he has like a Michel Pereira effect where he just kind of dies post round 1. I don't even know if we get there. I think Ikram Aliskerov is going to have another performance where it's like, this is finally the step up after, Robert Whittaker was obviously a huge step up, but this is like a non-short notice step up for Ikram Aliskerov. I think he passes with flying colors again. I think it'll be another kind of uneventful fight where Ikram's on the, they're kind of, whoever's trying to get to the center, whoever is trying to control it. Maybe JunYong Park really tries to get Ikram early. Brad Tavares is dropping him with a straight right hand. 2024, Brad Tavares. No. I don't like that. No, not happening. I'm picking Ikram Aliskerov to win by first round KO. I think it'll be something where JunYong Park, maybe the striking is like somewhat even. Maybe he shoots a takedown, gets it stuffed, and then randomly Ikram lands a straight right hand. JunYong Park kind of does a little of a jig. Ikram rushes him, bum rushes him, lands a combination, lands some big shots, and JunYong Park kind of folds against the fence. It gets stopped, maybe a little bit early because they're in Abu Dhabi. I think Ikram just knocks him out. He's goofy, but it works. So I'll go Ikram Aliskerov over JunYong Park pretty easily. We move to the featured prelim, Nasrat Haqparast versus Killen Salkild.
Mate, Killen Salkild, mate.
I'm picking Nasrat Haqparast over Killen. Kind of hurts. I like Killen Salkild. I think this is way too short notice. And way too short notice for this big of a step up in competition for Killen. You know what I mean? Nasrat's on like a 5-fight win streak. I know some of the fights aren't like the craziest competition, especially like earlier in the win streak. You know, John McDessie, that's like a, you know, who gives a fuck type win. You know what I mean? Landon Quinones, that was kind of a war too. He's knocking out Jamie Malarkey. I know he went to split decisions with Jared Gordon and Esteban Ribovic, but he's winning them. That's the thing, is he knows how to win decisions too. You know, he knows how to win them. And Killen Salkild, I get it. He looked massively impressive against Yanal Ashmouz. Did he, though, across all three? I thought Killen kind of gassed out in the third round. I thought he did. He kind of grappled himself into being tired. Is he going to out-grapple Nasrat Haqparast all that well? Is he going to, like, significantly out-grapple him? I don't really think so, honestly. I get Killen Salkild's pretty big. He's going to be at such a speed disadvantage in this fight. It's going to be fucking insane. It's going to be nuts. Nasrat Haqparast's best thing is his speed. He is weirdly quick for his, like, body type. I know this is an old photo. This is before Venom 2.0 shorts, even. He is really fast, and he's in better shape. He beat Esteban Ribovic. He did. I love Esteban Ribovic. I know after the fight I was like, man, I think Esteban could have... It was one of those decisions where it's like, it could have gone either way. I more understand Nasrat Haqparast scorecard, though. If that fight was 5 rounds, Esteban wins, obviously. Esteban was gaining a lot of momentum, hurt him in the third round. This is one of those things where it's like Killen Salkild is beating Anshul Jubli and Yanal Ashmouz. One, how tall is Yanal Ashmouz? Is he like 5'6"? He's 5'9". Bullshit, by the way. Bullshit, he's 5'9". No fucking way. His whole thing is that he's short. Oh, no, he did fight Sam Patterson, who's really tall. And then Anshul Jubli, he's fighting a lot of guys who look like they have really good records. They're not all that good, though, you know. Like Gage Young, he beat Gage Young. Gage Young just beat Mahashate at Shanghai, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a huge step up. He's going to be at a speed disadvantage. Nasrat Haqparast has an 85% takedown defense. I get Killen's pretty good. I know he looks pretty good. I think he gasses out at like the same or at an even quicker rate than Nasrat Haqparast does. Like Nasrat obviously slowed down against Jared Gordon, obviously slowed down against Ribovic. Those are really high-paced fights. I don't know if Killen Salkild can make this a high-paced fight. You know what I mean? And even if he does, can he break Nasrat Haqparast? I just don't think so. Nasrat's pretty tough. He got brutally finished by Drew Dober very early in his career. Outside of that, he showed a pretty fucking good chin. Went to war with Dan Hooker. He did lose to Bobby Green, which I'm not, it's whatever. But, he's beating Rafa Garcia. He's beating Joaquim Silva. He's knocking out Joaquim Silva. He's knocking out Jamie Malarkey. He's beating Esteban Ribovic. I think Esteban Ribovic is just the win that makes me pick Nasrat Haqparast here. It's super short notice. This fight literally got announced maybe 3 days ago. It was along with Valter Walker, Louie Sutherland. I don't know why they had to make this for this card. I love this fight. I wish they would have made it maybe later in the year, so maybe it would be a bit more, balanced. I don't know. I think this is way too big of a step up for Killen Salkild. And if Killen Salkild goes out there and beats Nasrat Haqparast, I will be very thoroughly impressed, especially with the circumstances he's been given, super short notice. If he can beat him, but like Esteban and Jared Gordon can't, Killen might actually be him. I don't know, but I think it's too short notice. I think it's too early for Killen Salkild. Normally, guys at this kind of like, Nasrat's on like a 5-fight win streak. Nasrat arguably should be getting a fight in the rankings, but he's fighting Killen Salkild. So I'll go Nasrat Haqparast by decision over Killen Salkild. I think Killen slows down too much. I'll go Nasrat. We move to the start of the main card. Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov. I'm picking Rakic over Murzakanov. My pick really just has to deal with the size between the two. Look at the height differential here. And I know I just made a pick of Bakoev over Belgary, and there was a 5-inch height disadvantage there for Bakoev. Murzakanov doesn't wrestle. His whole thing is striking. And that's another thing, What is Murzakanov's takedown defense? Because Rakic honestly might be able to take him down. He does have an 83% takedown defense. I just think Murzakanov, he's going to be at such a insane disadvantage physically here. Rakic, he just has this ability to kind of propaganda everybody. Rakic is good, though. I know he hasn't won a fight since fucking forever ago. I know he hasn't won since fucking before the Biden administration or whatever bullshit. I saw that TikTok. That was fucking hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. But I know he hasn't won in a while. He's going to a 29-28 decision with Ankalaev. He was beating the ever-living shit out of Yuri Prochazka. Worse than Khalil was. People don't talk about it. People forget, man. Rakic looked like a fucking world beater in that first round against Yuri outside of like the last 20 seconds when Yuri stumbled him a little bit. Murzakanov has T-Rex arms. He's going to have to really fight to get inside here. I don't know if he does. Because Rakic does hit hard. I know it doesn't seem like it because he doesn't finish anybody. He got a one head kick KO. Everyone's like, oh, he hits that hard. But it's like, I very vividly remember in Azamat's debut, Tefan Nchukwi, who is utter fucking garbage, by the way. Carlos Olberg victim as well. Was that Azamat's debut or was that his sophomore appearance? That was his debut after winning on the Contender Series. Dude, I thought Tefan Nchukwi was like beating him. I thought he was winning the entire fight because I remember that. I picked Tefan Nchukwi. I remember that. I picked him to win. Oh, maybe I didn't. But dude, yeah, look at this. Outstruck 24-13. Outstruck 25-12. And then randomly Azamat lands like a flying knee knockout on him. Just very randomly. Azamat, if he doesn't get knockdowns against Dustin Jacoby, he probably doesn't beat him. Was gassing out hard against Menefield. Rakic, like I said with Ribeiro, it's one of those things where he's like the perfect matchup for him. These taller, rangier, light heavyweights. Ribeiro just isn't good enough. He's very scared. He's a very scared fighter. Rakic is not. He will go forward, and it might lead to his detriment to him getting clipped or some shit. I think Murzakanov gasses out, though, man. He slows down pretty fucking hard out there. If you look at those fights, you look at especially the Alonzo Menefield one, he's huffing in round 2, but he catches Alonzo, so it doesn't really matter all that much. I'm picking Rakic by knockout. I think this is, again, it's another one of those things. Murzakanov's an old-ass guy, too. He's not young. He's 36 years old. He's really short. He's really stubby. He hits really hard, but, like, the competition going into this fight, he's getting a Rakic fight off of beating fucking Brandonson Ribeiro. He fucking sucks. That's it. His best win in the UFC is Alonzo Menefield. You could argue it's actually fucking Jacoby. I can't pick him to beat Rakic. I can't. The people that beat Rakic are like staples in the top 5. Like, for real. Jan, Yuri, Magomed. Who was the fourth that beat him? I don't know why I can't remember. Who was the fourth? Yeah, it was Vulcan. Very close fight. Robbery. I thought Rakic should have won that. That's besides the point. Rakic is just a better fighter than Mirzakhanov. Mirzakhanov's got really good boxing, but against a guy with a fucking 6.5-inch reach over him and a 6-inch height advantage, he's gonna be fucking Mike Tyson punch out, Lil Mac fucking throwing these punches, literally leaving the air to try and land on the chin of Rakic. He's going to be putting his head down and throwing big old meaty hooks. Yeah. I don't see it. I'm picking Rakic by knockout. We move to Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. I'm going to pick Jailton. This is a very difficult fight because if Jailton is not able to take down Volkov, it is going to be a really bad fight for him. And I could see a world where Volkov does maybe Romanov him. If Jailton doesn't get a takedown, it'll look like a lot like the Romanov fight. That's what I will say. It'll look a lot like the Romanov fight. I think Jailton is so athletic comparatively to like the rest of the division though. At least like the last couple of people Volkov. So obviously Cyril Gane, very athletic. There's a big difference athletically between takedown attempts by Jailton and Cyril Gane, obviously. Ty, fat as fuck. Sergey, he doesn't wrestle a lot. He started wrestling after the Volkov fight because he realized that sometimes, can't get it done all the time. I think Jailton is so athletic. And he's very young, and he hasn't taken a huge amount of damage. I know that, Curtis Blades finished him with a shovel uppercut into strikes to the side of the head. I do know he got knocked out on the regional scene, so there is always that worry with Jailton that maybe he's one of these guys where first sign of adversity he kind of wilts. He got some adversity against Sergey Spivak, and he bounced back and chinned him and then finished him on the ground. I feel like Jailton can get takedowns on Volkov. And considering that this is the matchup that will show who fights Tom Aspinall next, I think Jailton knows that. I know Volkov is also going to know that, but Jailton has been working. He's going to be training hard as shit for this. He's going to be trying his hardest to get Volkov down. And people forget, even though Jailton did get finished by Blades, he took him down like 8 times in that first round. He's very good at chewing people up against the cage, kind of mat return. He did it to Derek Lewis for 5 fucking rounds. Even had some moments where Derek Lewis landed some very big shots on him on the ground where he kind of just ate it and kept rolling. Volkov is very good. I love Volkov. I've said it every single time he's on the channel. I know I have Jailton in my banner. I fucking love Volkov though, man. And it sucks that I think I've only picked him against Ty on the channel. I picked him against Tuivasa at 293 on the YouTube channel. Before that, I picked him a shit ton. I picked him to beat fucking Tom Aspinall. I switched my pick last second on that one, but yeah, Jailton is pretty good. He knows how to control people on the ground. I know he doesn't fight a lot. He hasn't fought since 311, which is a little bit concerning in my opinion. I wish he would have had a fight in between there, but heavyweight was kind of clogged near the top there. But yeah, I think Jailton is pretty good. He's a very good wrestler. And Volkov, people forget, man. Blades took him down a shit ton. I know he's massively improved since then. There's a huge difference between a Romanov and Almeida. Romanov is all strength, no technique in a way. And we saw what happened when he fought Jailton. Jailton fucking crushed him in the grappling. I know Volkov TKO'd him on the ground with ground and pound and whatnot. Jailton genuinely out-grappled and choked him unconscious. I'm picking Jailton Almeida. I think it'll be a weird fight where early on Jaqueline maybe is a little hesitant to throw or shoot. I think he'll wait for Volkov to make a mistake. Maybe throw a teep kick that Jaqueline can read and then off-balance Volkov in a way to get him to the ground. Or maybe he just does what he does best and that's just blast double leg after a teep to the body 10 seconds in. We'll see what happens. It's very rare you get an athlete like Jaqueline Almeida at heavyweight. I'm very interested to see how he looks against Volkov. I know he lost to Blades. That was just kind of an in-the-moment type of thing, though. I'm picking Jaqueline Almeida to beat Volkov. Sadly, but not. I kind of like Jaqueline Almeida, but I love Volkov, man. I love me some Volkov, dude. He's such a fucking good dude, you know. I will pick Jaqueline, though. We move to the featured fight, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. I'm going to pick Umar over Mario. It is a little bit tricky, I will say, but I think I will rely on Umar fighting what I believe in his last two fights better than anything Mario has ever fought. I know Mario is coming off a pretty lengthy win streak. You know, Jose Aldo, Patchy Mix, Ricky Simone, even added on there Damone Blackshear at 292. But I really think that Damone Blackshear performance is one of the reasons why I'm actually going to pick Umar over Mario. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know that I always bring up whenever Damone fights or Mario fights, I will always bring up the Damone Blackshear Mario Bautista fight. Damone arguably could win the first 2 rounds in that fight. It is a very easy argument to make for Damone Blackshear. That's my dog in the background, if you can hear that. Mario Bautista is very good, very underrated striking. A lot of people, when you bring up Mario Bautista, the first thing they will think of is Jose Aldo and holding him against the fence. What people won't bring up is his demolition job performance over Ricky Simone, or even the Patchy Mix performance, which, to be fair, Patchy Mix did start making a decent bit of work in round 3 and late round 2. I just really think Umar he beat Corey Sandhagen very clearly, and even out-grappled Corey. Do I think Mario Bautista could do the same? I don't think so. I really don't think he could. I think Umar Nurmagomedov, technically speaking, is probably the best grappler in this division. I know Merab out-grappled him as that fight went on. That wasn't really a technical aspect. That was more so just cardio and onset fatigue for Umar, leading to not even really takedowns, failed takedown attempts, and then kind of just shoving Umar. He kind of playground shoved Umar as that fight went on, especially in round 5 when he just held the fucking foot and then just kind of like fucking Matt returned him. It was really funny. On the feet, Mario's way better boxing, in my opinion. I think his boxing is going to be pretty solid comparatively to Umar. Umar's really good at utilizing kicks to find range for his takedown entries. You look at the Corey fight, he uses a lot of teeps, uses a lot of side kicks even to the face even. He has these really floaty, airy, freestyle type of kicks that he throws to find the range. And I do think it doesn't even be mentioned, even though I do not really like excuses. He did break his hand against Merab, and he still almost won that 5th round. Those are competitive rounds. The rounds 1 and 2 very clearly Merab. Rounds 3 and 4, 3 was somewhat more competitive. Round 4 was pretty clearly Merab. Round 3 was close, edged out to Merab as the round goes on. Umar had good success early. Merab kind of mounted momentum really hard at the end of that round. Round 5, Umar was still throwing output. And that's my thing. If this fight was maybe 5 rounds, I would maybe consider picking Mario, just because I think Mario, one of his best weapons is his pressure and presence in the cage, where he's able to kind of push people back against the fence, utilize his frame against people, push people back, use his size, and obviously out-cardio people. It's what he did at Jose Aldo. It's what he did to, even though the Jose Aldo fight was very close, I do think that one is more so Mario than like Amian Zahabi versus Jose Aldo. You know what I mean? Obviously, after that fight, I was a little upset at Mario Batista, but that's the point. On the feet, I favor Mario in the boxing, hand-to-hand speed. Umar, better kicking game and grappling, which I think will lead to... That's my dog. I think Umar will be able to take down Mario pretty convincingly in this fight. I can't... Damone Blackshear arguably beat this fucking dude. And Damone Blackshear, as we've seen, is not that great in hindsight. He's losing a lot of fights. He's going to competitive decisions with guys that I've seen other people very easily beat. And I'm sat there wondering, like, what the fuck happened? On a week's notice as well, you know. I got to go with Umar Nurmagomedov. I think it's the correct choice, and I think it's going to be the obvious choice after the outcome of this fight. I like after Mario Batista beating Patchy Mix, do I think he beats Umar? No, I can't. I can't predict that. So I'll go Umar Nurmagomedov, unanimous decision, 30-27. Maybe the early rounds are, I think it'll start off competitive. Umar will kind of gain momentum midway through, and then maybe round 3, Mario mounts a bit of a comeback, a little bit of a hairy striking exchange in round 3. I think overall Umar will be the better fighter, though. So I'll go Umar Nurmagomedov. We move to the co-main event. Virna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern 2. Ugh. Should I flip a coin? Nah. I'll pick Virna. Even though she has every disadvantage in this fight, like physical-wise, age, height, she has a bit of a reach advantage, but like usually if it was a 32-year-old versus a 37-year-old at such a low weight division for a title, I'd be like, obviously I'm going with the 32, but like Mackenzie Dern is getting this title shot off of beating Amanda Ribas and Lupita Godinez. She's 2-2 in her last 4, you know. Like, I can't get the image of... Like, she's losing to Lemos and Andrade. The Lupita Godinez fight was crazy competitive. And I can say the same thing about Lupita and Virna Jandiroba in Atlantic City. That was also very close. But she's finishing Amanda Lemos. She is dominating Yan Xiaonan. She's dominating Marina Rodriguez. She's dominating Angela Hill. You know what I mean? I know that Virna, it's so weird because Mackenzie Dern beat Virna in the first fight. Virna has beat people that Mackenzie has lost to, but she's lost to people that Mackenzie has beat. It's like a weird yin and yang thing. Like Virna's lost to Amanda Ribas. Mackenzie Dern has beat her. Virna has beaten Amanda Lemos. Mackenzie lost to her. They have shared wins, Lupita Godinez, Angela Hill. I like Virna's wins over shared competition more. I just do. Mackenzie Dern, personally, I think the striking is going to be pretty one-sided. Do I think, though? Because Mackenzie Dern, her chin is wide open. It's not like Virna's that great, though. Virna she's got like that Marab style striking where it looks so ugly, but it's like, because you're so worried about the grappling aspect of her game, her jiu-jitsu is really fucking good, that on the feet, you'll see her landing like 1-2s and a jab here and there. You'd be like, damn, Virna's looking pretty fucking good. Her wrestling is better than Dern's, though, and I really think that's where the difference is going to come in this fight, is the wrestling difference. Because the jiu-jitsu, you could argue, dude, Mackenzie Dern, man. Mackenzie Dern, dude, fucking, look at her, dude. She's fucking Mackenzie Dern, dude. Fucking, it's Mackenzie Dern. Really fuck. Her takedown defense is 25, bro. Virna also beat Yan Xiaonan. I already mentioned the Yan Xiaonan. Mackenzie Dern got worked by Yan Xiaonan. got out-grappled by JunYong, actually, if I remember that. She pulled guard a shit ton. Virna worked JunYong, and that made me look stupid because I picked JunYong over Virna Jandiroba. I picked Mackenzie Dern over JunYong. Dude, my main event picks are pretty bad, even though that wasn't a main event, Virna versus, you get the point. Offensive wrestling-wise, I favor Virna. It's a 5-round fight, which, to be fair, we haven't seen Virna go the full distance under the UFC banner, to be fair. But, she's gone to 5 rounds outside the UFC. She beat, to be fair, she beat Mizuki Inoue earlier on the card in a 5-round decision in Invicta, I believe. Is that where that was? It was in Invicta, yep. She's got a lot of solid, regional wins as well to back it up. I just think Virna's a better fighter, unironically. I know Mackenzie Dern has made, decent strides in her striking to be, like, somewhat competitive with, girls that you'd be like, holy shit, I think this girl's gonna fucking knock out Mackenzie. She got knocked out by Jessica Andrade. She got kind of worked in that fight, too. She didn't really have a lot of success. She lost to Amanda Lemos. I don't really like that. Because here's the thing. She had the same positions that Virna did. Virna finished the fight. I can't ignore that. I can't. And Mackenzie Dern has been finished in her career before. Virna has never been finished. So, honestly, like, that gives me some plus. She's got some grit to her. I know Mackenzie's only been finished once. She gets made to look like a fool sometimes out there. In the grappling, I think Mackenzie Dern... Like, dude, Mackenzie Dern was getting out-grappled in moments by, like, fucking Tisha Pennington, bro. I can't pick you to win, dog. I can't. That was honestly a really fucking close fight, too. You have to pick Virna, right? Even though she's older, I just think her track record as of recent is just way better. She's getting beat by Fifian Davies, or Fifin Davies, or whatever her name is, in the grappling scene. That's your whole thing, Mackenzie, is your BJJ. You're getting outworked by another lady. Huh. Like, I gotta go with Virna. Even though she's so old for a WMMA fighter, she doesn't have a lot of damage on her. Even though it looks like a little bit, but that's besides the point. She's a better grappler, in my opinion. She's a better wrestler. The only difference is really the stand-up. Is Mackenzie Dern going to knock out Virna Jandiroba? Fucking no way, dude. No shot. I'm picking Virna Jandiroba. End of story. We move to the main event. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. And still, I'm picking Tom Aspinall over Ciryl Gane. In my opinion, the obvious pick. There are obviously going to be hardcore MMA fans out there. There obviously are going to be these people that are like, dude, I don't know, man. Fucking Ciryl Gane, dude. People forget, man. This guy fucking beat up Derek Lewis, man. I really think it's going to just be the grappling. I think Tom Aspinall can go out there and knock out Ciryl Gane very early. I think Tom Aspinall is a really good fighter at figuring out the path of least resistance mid-fight. He's very good at that. You see that in the Arlovsky fight, where first round, it's meh. Tom Aspinall doesn't finish him. His longest fight in the UFC, by the way, was fucking Arlovsky. He took him down and immediately subbed him. And my thinking is, if Ciryl Gane is getting bulldozed by Volkov, you watch that fight back, Volkov is very easily, like when I say easily, very easily taking down Ciryl Gane. It's almost pitiful, in a way, like how easy he got him down in round 3 and 2. And I know what you're going to say. We've never seen Tom Aspinall around 2 and 3. I don't really think that matters, in a way. Tom isn't this, like, super output machine that, like, is super crazy in fights. He's so athletic and so strong and he's so fast. He's one of the only dudes in this division that's going to be able to match the speed that is Ciryl Gane at heavyweight. Because Ciryl Gane, the whole thing is Lucas Tracy maxing cat-like reflexes, bro. Bro, the cat-like reflexes of Ciryl Gane, bro. You see that, and you're like, damn, dude, he is really quick. He's getting knocked down by Tai Tuivasa. And to be fair, Ciryl Gane's got some crafty shit up his sleeve. Ciryl Gane is not that bad of a grappler. It's really the defensive wrestling that I have a huge issue with, that is getting exploited in every loss that he has. You look at, because to be fair, Ciryl Gane has out-grappled people before. You look at the first Volkov fight. He won some of those rounds. He banked some of those rounds off of takedowns. Second fight with Volkov, he got very clearly out-grappled. That was his last fight, almost over a year ago. To be fair, he has a more recent fight, the Tom Aspinall, but that's because Tom was waiting for a fight. That's a difference. Ciryl wasn't waiting for a fight. He wasn't prepping for anybody. He was doing his star shit in France, being a humongous star over there, doing movies, doing fucking, docuseries and bullshit. Tom was training for John fucking Jones for a year and a half, saying, John, you're a great fighter, but I think I can beat you. I know I can beat you. He was waiting for a John Jones fight for fucking ages. He's just been training. Ciryl Gane, doing movies and shit, gets a call up. Hey, the fucking fight Tom Aspinall in Abu Dhabi? Yeah. Fucking his goofy little smile. I can't go into this fight seeing the previous performances that they've had. Cyril's last 2 wins are fucking Spivak, who he took to a later round than fucking Jailton Almeida with his striking. Jailton hurt him in the first round. Ciryl didn't. People forget, man. And then fucking Volkov in a very, very close fight. One that most people believe, rightfully so, Volkov should have won. He's getting out-grappled. The only guy in his most recent fights that didn't out-grapple him was Spivak and Tai Tuivasa, which Spivak, he's a fucking great grappler, bro. Is he, though? Is he? I know that he took down Jailton Almeida. That was just a very spur-of-the-moment, crazy-ass takedown attempt that Jailton wasn't expecting. Against Ciryl Gane, he was so scared to do anything that he just conceded the back foot and just plodded backwards and then lunged forward every minute and a half, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. Like, maybe this will be the takedown. Oh, nope, he punched my liver. And then just gave up. Ciryl Gane does have really good striking. My thing is, his power doesn't fit the output in a way. He's sort of lower output, and he kind of just waits for a shot. He doesn't actually set things up all that great. The Tuivasa KO, magnificent. Just counter strike, boop, and then back to the headshot, and then fold him out. Tai Tuivasa had him taken to a war, bro. My thing is, I think Tom Aspinall is going to go out there, hit him with something big. Cyril's going to look like, oh shit, this is what everyone talked about. Kind of back up. Tom's going to press him to the fence, shoot a double leg, pick him up, take him down. I think he's going to get an arm lock on him or something. I think he's going to sub him with something to do with his arm. It can be an Americana, it can be a Kimura, it can be a straight arm lock. I don't really care. Tom Aspinall is very good at managing positions and getting to dominant positions and maintaining them. You look at the Volkov fight. Volkov got up. He lit Volkov back up to test his striking against him, and then he immediately took him down a couple seconds later. Timed it perfectly against Volkov. Bro, what are we doing, bro? I think this is a very obvious pick, in my opinion. I'm going Tom Aspinall, first round submission. He could knock out Ciryl. It would be honestly funnier if he knocked out Ciryl Gane. And Cyril, he's getting out grappled by like Ngannou and shit. I know Ngannou's underrated in the wrestling department. He just brutally, he didn't just, it was like over a year ago, but he out grappled Renan Ferreira and just murdered him on the ground. But that's besides the point. Cyril Gane against Francis. Francis had no knees in that fight, and he just tossed him around. Tom's the better fighter. End of story. Tom Aspinall and Still. I'm UFC Thoughts. These have been my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 321. Aspinall versus Gane on October 25th, 2025. My confident picks reside with Valter Walker, Ikram Aliskerov, and in the main event, Tom Aspinall. My pre-card rating is an 8.5 out of 10. Probably a 9, actually. I like this card a lot. Main card-wise for, one of these Abu Dhabi events, UFC 308, the thing that really drags it down is the title fights, to be fair. I think Aspinall Gane is pretty easy to predict. Nobody gives a shit about Janjadova Dern 2. But the main card, other than, Umar Mario's a sick fight. Rakic versus Azamat's a great fight. Volkov versus Jailton sets up the next title shot, kind of what they used to do with Adesanya back in the day. You got some really good prelims on there too. Killing Salkilled versus Nasrat, really good fight. Miguel Delgado, Nathaniel Wood, Nathan Fletcher, holy shit. Really solid card. The prelims, they don't have as much maybe volume as the other ones. 308 was pretty stacked, but 308 also had Shara on the main card of a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Against Armin Petrosian. I just think the main card's a little bit better. Anyways, if you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you guys want to see next. And who are you picking in the main event? Are you with Team Aspinall or are you Team Gane? Let me know what you think. But yeah, I will see you guys after the fights, more than likely. Peace.